Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jake with Fitness Insider coming at you guys with another good one today. But first, as always, hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you guys join the family. Special thanks to everybody that has been subscribing, liking the videos, commenting. I love you guys, man. This is what this channel is all about. So definitely a special thanks goes out to you guys. And to everybody that hasn't subscribed, definitely consider it, right? So I'm personally one of the people that have been laid off. So I have a lot more time now, so I'm definitely going to do what I can to keep bringing you guys the best content in a time where it seems like most of us have more time on our hands than we've had in a long time. So if you like this kind of thing, definitely subscribe, and I'm going to keep this kind of content coming. So anyways, guys, long intro. We're going to go ahead and get into the topic of today, and what that is basically Kai Greene. Now, the moral of the story, what this video is really going to be about, is whether he really still has what it takes to come back in 2020, which again, guys, that's hypothetical because we all know he probably won't. But also whether a lot of other things, whether we think he deserved an Olympia title, whether we think he got robbed in 2014 or even 2012, and basically just all things Kai Greene. So if you're a fan of Kai Greene or just bodybuilding in general, definitely stick around. This is going to be a fun video, so follow me along. Alright guys, so first off, I just want to talk about Kai Greene and how insanely good this guy is. He's literally a legend of the sport at this point. You know, he may not have an Olympia win, and he may not have all the accolades like somebody like Phil Heath or Ronnie Coleman has, but he definitely will go down as one of the best bodybuilders of all time, especially in my mind. This guy has more thick muscle than almost anybody I've ever seen. He has one of the best backs, as you can see here. He has no missing body parts. You know, he kind of has somewhat thin forearms, and he don't have the best waist, but besides that, he almost has zero flaws, man. He is insanely shredded. He has feathering in his triceps. His back has one of the craziest Christmas tree, even beyond the Christmas tree. He just, the lower lats, how thick his lower lats are, man, is insane. His glutes, his hamstrings are just massive. He has some of the best legs in history. I mean, no doubt. Undeniable. I mean, this guy has one of the thickest, fully developed legs in history. Calves, quads, hamstrings, not just being separated, but being feathered, man. This guy had great conditioning when he was on. And look, man, everybody is off from time to time, but even when he was off, he was insanely dangerous. So, just off the bat, he's amazing in my mind, and he should be, in my opinion, I think he should have won at least one Olympia. We're going to get into that. That's what we're going to head into next, actually. We're going to talk about 2012 and 2014, which are basically, I think, his two best Olympia performances. After that, we're going to talk about 2016 Arnold Classic because, in my opinion, that's one of the best looks he's ever brought. So let's go ahead and move on. Alright guys, moving into the 2012 Mr. Olympia, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of information in case, basically for those who are not super up to date on the details there, but basically Phil Heath had just won his first Olympia the year prior to this, so this was his second year. He was going to retain, this was his second year winning, so that I'm going to disclose that right now. He won the show, but this was his chance to retain the title, basically to show whether it was a fluke that he won the year prior to Jay Cutler, or whether he was going to be there to stay, to hold on to the title. Kai Greene steps up as the basically the runner-up, the guy that pushes Phil. And honestly, guys, this was a super close battle. It was a freaking battle. These guys looked so close in so many poses. You literally could flip a coin, you know. Based on one guy's judging criteria to the other, you really could go either way. Look at him from the back, all right? Kai has peakier biceps and probably lower hanging triceps, but we all know Phil has better arms. I mean, it is what it is. But Kai does have some of the best biceps in the world. But from the back, Kai's back is so crazy looking, so intricate in the details. However, Phil has a more 3D back. They're both super thickly developed from top to bottom. I think Kai's hamstrings and quad sweep look better, but I think Phil has a drier look down there. So it's really, you could flip a coin. That's how close this thing was, you know. Phil's glutes look drier and more shredded, but I mean, yeah, really everywhere you look, these guys are almost comparable. It's just which physique do you like more? From the side, you can see, I think that Phil has better arms, more complete. Both of them have amazing chests. At this time in both of their careers, their midsections were both very tight. They look good. In fact, this was one of Kai's better looks because he was downsized here. He had his midsection in check. He was probably the driest that I've seen him in a long time, and he just looked phenomenal like this. From this point on, though, he starts putting on size and turns into a whole nother animal. So we're going to go ahead and get into 2014, which is the year that their rivalry basically peaked out and became the craziest. There's a lot of info online about that. If you guys were interested, it's actually crazy. Even from the press conference, man, these guys were at each other's throats. Definitely a sight to see if you haven't seen it yet. Alright guys, now we're basically getting down to the peak of the rivalry between these two, and basically I think this year more than any other is the most contested result of the rivalry between these two guys. I think this is the year that most people thought that Kai Greene deserved to beat Phil. And you know what? I actually do too. I'm going to be straight up honest. I went back and forth for a little bit, but I actually do side with Kai on this one. I think Kai deserved it. But as you can see right here, this moment right here, I think it was in prejudging, but basically these guys confronted each other on stage, and it almost looked like they were about to fight. They were kind of brushing up and kind of pushing on each other a little bit, and yeah, it was crazy, man. That's how much these guys did not like each other, man. And but at the same time, it just made the thing just so much more competitive and interesting. So let's get into the front double here. If you look, these are the reasons why I think Kai should have won this show, okay? In a lot of ways, Phil is just as dangerous as he was in 2012. He has added size here, but his stomach, this was the year that his stomach started becoming a problem. As you can see, it's washed out already. And not to say that Kai had the best midsection ever, but I think Kai was drier overall. I think he's I mean, just look at the front double. It's like, it looks like a statue. He's just super grainy. He's outmassing Phil. I can't remember by how much, but it was by quite a bit. This is one of Kai's heaviest years, if not his heaviest. I mean, he looks massive in this show, and he just, overall, man, his arms just look way peakier. His lats are wider and thicker. His midsection is showing more detail. His quads, they flare out more. It's just, yeah, Kai Greene, man, he loses some poses here. Don't get me wrong. But when you take into the effect that the distension that Phil had this year, because, dude, great. I mean, believe me, Phil looked great. He had all the usual stuff that he always has: the super shredded hamstrings, the crazy arms, the real thin skin, and the 3D muscle. But overall, man, Kai was just outmassing him. He had so many standout body parts, man. His back was insanely thick with all the added mass and the very solid conditioning and dryness. Me personally, guys, I think Kai won it. But again, if he won it, it would have been by such a small margin to where the fact that Phil won, I couldn't really be mad because it was that close, man. These guys were super close every single time. 2013, I do think Phil won that pretty convincingly, but 2014, I think Kai should have won that one, and I feel bad that he didn't, because that was basically the last year he ever competed at the Mr. Olympia, and I feel like this guy, being as legendary as he is and as amazing as he is, that should have been the Sandow that he could have walked away with and felt complete in the sport of bodybuilding. But unfortunately, that is not how it went down, and it is what it is. But anyways, guys, we're going to go ahead and move on to, I believe, the last show Kai ever did, which was the 2016 Arnold Classic, which is one of the best packages I've ever seen Kai Greene bring to the stage. So let's go ahead and check that out. All right, guys, now we're going to go ahead and move into the 2016 Arnold Classic, where I think Kai Greene brings one of the best physiques he's ever brought to the stage. As you can see, man, he is full. He is dry. He is shredded. You'll see how shredded he is when he turns around, man. From the back, he looked crazy. The added size that he has from the years like 2012, granted, he is not as aesthetic as he was in 2012. So when I think of his best physique, I often look at 2012 Olympia and the 2016 Arnold Classic. It's almost like a tie between the two because they're both amazing, but he has the added size here where he looks crazy, man. He has so many standout body parts, but at the same time, he's very proportioned and he looks full. He hits the balance between conditioned and full perfectly here. He looks so good. and with the super thick back, the perfect legs, his midsection's in check, his arms look crazy here. I mean, you really can't ask for more. So basically, that's what I think about his performances. I do think he deserved a Sandow in 2014. However, I will go on record and think I'm a big fan of both Kai Greene and Phil Heath, and I do think it was fair that Phil Heath won in 2012 and especially 2013. So I'm not being biased here. I really do think Kai Greene deserved 2014, but it was very close. So I'm not holding anything back from Phil. He looked really good too. But as far as 2020, do I think if he came back, do I think he could bring it and be a threat to the title? Honestly, I don't know. It's conditional depending on who comes back, and really more on Kai Greene. Can he repeat this kind of shape? I know he still has the size, but it's more about, did he lose that young muscle look? And the conditioning might be an issue, but I'm going to go on record and say, yes, I do think, no doubt, he would be top 6, and I still think he'd be a threat to the title. Especially in a show like last year, I think he would have been a threat to the title for sure. This year, it just really depends on who comes back. But anyways, guys, it was a long video. I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. Thanks to everybody that stuck around. I'll see you guys in the next one.